Hey, Sunshine Dude Buckaroos. How the heck are you? I am Tom the Beer Whisperer, and I haven't been drinking as much beer lately. And because of that, I haven't well, I was going to say I haven't bought any. Well, that's not exactly true. So I get a shipment once a month from Minocqua Brewing Company out of Wisconsin. So it's four packs I get once a month. But I didn't realize I had three partial boxes, so I've got a backlog of those. So I'm going to drink one of them with you now, but I'm going to try to drink three. I usually stop at two beers with the Beer Whisperer. We're going to try to get through three. One of them from Minocqua, one that I went in with a friend and bought a few from a side project out from Bentonville. And then one some friends gave me, Kristen, uh, and Kirsten Scott. Anyway, sorry guys for butchering your name there. And I'm going to start with that one here. It's the Yakamaniac IPA. I believe it's at 7.3, so it's big. Is it a double? Well, that kind of, for me, I like to see a double at 8. They don't call it a double. So this electric IPA's fusion of hops requires flavors and aromas. Oh, I'm sure. One more time. I haven't even had anything to drink yet, believe it or not. This this electric IPA's fusion of hops conjures flavors of and aromas of juicy tropical fruits and citrus. So I'm going to start with this one here. I'm going to pop it right in front of you. I am going to pause for a second. I'm not going to pause video, but I'm going to take a picture of it here since I haven't had this one. We'll get it poured. As you can see me pouring it here. And I'm going to try to get a picture of it. There we go. Take a couple. I'm going to try to get one with me of it if you don't mind. See if I can balance this here, maybe. So I can square that angle up better here. There we go. Let's try that again. Didn't go. Good enough. I've got a 5-second delay in it. Okay, now you've got my undivided attention until the next beer, anyway. So obviously, by the description, they're trying to go, or what they're describing is more of a hazy, but that isn't hazy at all. It may be just a kind of a spin on a West Coast. This brewery's out of Wichita, Kansas. So they tell you to look for flavors and aromas of juicy tropical fruits and citrus. Oh yeah. Notice a lot of big orange zest right away, but then you're going to find those tropical fruit notes. You might find pineapple, mango, papaya. It just really depends on you. Why is that? Because you're not going to interpret flavors and aromas that you don't know, right? If you don't eat mango, if you don't eat passion fruit, if you don't eat papaya, you're not going to get the aromas of, nor are you going to taste them. Your mind is going to interpret that as something else. But I love the aromatics of this beer, having said all of that. We've had a weird start to our spring, right? We went from extremely cold to 90-degree weather seemingly overnight. Now we're kind of settling in. It's low 50s here today, and it's kind of overcast, but I thought it was still nice enough to get out here for a little bit. Give my wife a little break since I am off this weekend. I'm off most weekends, but I do get asked to work an occasional Saturday or Sunday. It's very nice. Yeah, thank you, Scott Kirsten, for getting this for me. Yeah, it is kind of a even mix of tropical fruits and citrus. For me, I'm getting more orange, a little grapefruit in there, but I'm picking up more orange notes. That could just be me, but I'm really getting a lot of orange zest, some grapefruit zest in there as well. But yeah, so passion fruit. For me, I'm getting more passion fruit and mango, but I mean, pineapple is certainly going to be there. You might even feel papaya again. Like I said, kind of depends on you. Oh. Been cutting back on beer for a couple of reasons. One, I'm trying to lose some weight, obviously. And I've been trying for a long time. I've been trying to lose some weight, but the other thing is I'm not processing it as well as I once did as a younger person. So that's why it is a little trying to drink three here. That's a lot. I haven't been able to drink three at a time in a very long time. So we'll see how it goes. My intent, I grabbed three. I may just drink two with you. Kind of depends how it goes. Old body doesn't process things as well as it once did. One of the things I love, popcorn. I've kind of struggled with. Is I mean, I've got a serious popcorn Jones. Um, I can do without having any popcorn for long periods of time. But here's the problem: if I have to eat all of it, right? I have to eat all of the popcorn. A good example of that is went to the movies with my granddaughter a couple weekends back. And they have the all you can eat popcorn. She likes a lot of popcorn too. But we ate a whole tub, just the two of us, before the movie even started. And then we killed the second one, pondered ordering a third, but we didn't. Oh man, it's brutal. But like I said, I can go without having any. But if I do have popcorn, I'm eating all of it. Whether I pop just a little bit or a lot, I'm eating it till it's gone. And that's a problem. My body does not process that well anymore, and that's the same issue. So I've had to cut back on certain things, which is probably a good thing. But this is very nice. So the flavors and aromas that they suggest kind of lead you to believe that it's headed more towards a hazy or juicy style. But the flavors and aromas I'm getting hedge more towards a West Coast. It feels like kind of a hybrid of the two styles. Bottom line, it's absolutely delicious, and you would never know that it's 7.3. They hide that alcohol very well. Again, it is really tasty. So since another one of the three is a hazy IPA, double hazy that uses Citra and Galaxy. The second beer I'm going to kind of use as a palate cleanser, and it's a Kolsch from Freedom Trail Kolsch from Anaqua Brewing out of Wisconsin. That'll be beer number two. And then we'll see how things are going if we try to get to three or not. Got my beer whisper shirt, although you can't really see it there. So this is my bar area, my little corner in our garage. This is my sanctuary. My wife keeps moving things closer to me, though my sanctuary keeps getting smaller. Anyway, uh, yeah. Anyway, this beer is very nice. Let me show you this can again. Should have propped that up so you can see it there. From Free State out of Wichita. Get up a little higher. Here we go. Now you can see that better. There's the description of the beer there. There we go. Get up there so you can see it. Oh, it's Easter tomorrow as I do this video. My wife and I are both kind of struggling with this holiday, missing our son and our grandson our son we lost back in April of 13, but we lost our grandson in November of last year. It's just neither one of us are feeling any celebration, so I didn't go out and buy anything special to make us Sunday or Easter dinner. It's just the two of us. I don't even know what I'm going to fix at this moment that I speak to you. Probably have some chicken because that's what I have in the freezer. I did take one package out. So it'll likely be chicken, but yeah, I wasn't feeling. Neither one of us felt like getting a ham, or in years past, sometimes I've done a pork loin or a pork tenderloin, either or. Like I said, it's just the two of us, so it seems crazy to try to make this big crazy meal for the two of us, especially since neither one of us are feeling it. My son loved Easter because of the food and family portion of it, right? His two favorite holidays were Easter and Thanksgiving because it was about the family and the food and, putting everything together. He liked Christmas, don't get me wrong, but, you add to the present aspect, he liked the family aspect better. We'd spend a lot of time putting the menus together, we'd always kind of mix a little bit of, we'd have some traditional dishes and then some not. So we'd get an idea and we kind of spin on it. He had the best palate known to man, I swear. Every time I'd have him taste something, I said, what is it? What does it need? And he would say this spice or this herb or that. And he was right every time. A little more of this, a little less of that, Pop. So yeah. I'm not necessarily religious. I'm not necessarily not religious, I guess. There are things I believe in. There are things I don't. But I am bothered by the hypocrisy of organized religion, right? You got so many people saying, well, you need to do this, you need to believe in that, while they decide to hate groups of people because of their very particular interpretation of an archaic book. And that bothers me so. You can't pick and choose, right? If you're going to say, okay, if you do this, it's an abomination, you're going to hell, but I'm going to do this. Even though it says not to in the Bible, I don't think this one's as bad as that one. And I get tired of being lectured about certain things from folks that have been divorced 3 times. Jesus says absolutely nothing about homosexuality yet. Yeah. Adultery is in God's top 10, right? So that's okay. But if you do this, no, I don't necessarily think tattoos are bad, even though I don't have any. But the Bible does. So the same people that want to lecture you usually have tattoos, been divorced, cheated on their spouses. Yeah, they want to say, no, you're going to hell because you're doing this. And that just bothers me. The hypocrisy of it all is what keeps me from following any particular religion. All right, beer number 2. Freedom Trail Coast from Anaqua Brewing, as I said. I've read the back of this can several times, but I do want to read a little bit of it. During World War II, one of many freedom trails taken by refugees fleeing Nazi Germany went through French Morocco. The movie Casablanca told the story of two heroic resistance warriors stuck along the route as they tried to avoid capture. As America forms its own resistance movement against Trump's fascist regime, read from the can, we must channel the heroism of those depicted in Casablanca and create new freedom trails to protect America, to protect Americans seeking refuge from tyranny here at home. So I have had this beer before. It's a very nicely done Kolsch. It's at 4.8%. Right in style guidelines. So like I did with that other one, I'm going to bear with me for a second while I try to get a picture here. All right, let me try to get another one. And one more, bear with me. All right. Anyways, wanted to get a picture there of beer number 2. Didn't realize it took me so long to drink that first one. Oh yeah, that's nice. Very nice. A nicely done Kolsch. It does what a Kolsch is supposed to do. It's that hybrid of ale and lager, so you should get that nice ale-like fruity middle, but then a nice, clean, crisp finish like a lager. And this one is just done exquisitely well, as is all the beers that I've had from them, if I'm being honest. I would love to make a pilgrimage to their brewery. I thought about doing it this year, but then something else came up, so we won't be able to. I know I won't get there this year, but maybe next year. Something that came up that changed my plans for the whole year, but nevertheless, wife and I have led a rather modest life. I mean, I've had periods of time in my life where we were doing very well, but then I made a decision at one point when my son was about 6 months old to focus more on the family and less on the career and less on the money. That turned out to be the right decision, and I got to spend more time with my family, and then we lost our son when he was only 14, so. But that's a tough decision for a lot of folks. A lot of folks measure success by money, by dollar signs. And I've never been one of those folks. Now, I can't stop those folks from judging me by dollar signs if that's what they choose to do. Well, Tom, you're not successful because you're not doing this. But I am successful because I've done what I wanted to do, right? I've been in careers where I've learned what I wanted to learn and then moved myself to do other things. Currently, I'm a bartender. And sometimes I say just a bartender, but I've been kind of picked on for this. Don't say just. Bartender is important, and it is. That's the thing, though. You have a certain segment of society that looks down on that profession. I've heard folks make fun of AOC. Well, she's just a bartender. What do you mean then? What do you mean by that? What do you mean just a bartender? You mean in your mind that's not a noble profession? from folks that were born with a silver spoon up their ass. No, hell no, I ain't taking that shit. So I try not to say just a bartender anymore. And I'm at the stage in my career, as it were, even though I've only been doing it a couple of years, that I am getting cocky now because I've had enough feedback on my cocktails that I know I'm good. I know I'm very good. I'm not as innovative as younger folks because I don't necessarily want to be. I'm not knocking them for being innovative and doing things, but I try to focus more on the classics, right? And just variations or other versions of those classics. So almost everything that I do is an interpretation of a Manhattan, an old fashioned, or a martini, just taking it slightly different directions. And I do like most of my cocktails are right at that at three ingredients that most classics are. And so, sometimes I'll go to four. And on a very rare occasion, I've gotten to five, but almost everything is two to three. I like to keep it simple. But if you've ever done any cooking, and I enjoy cooking as well, it's not about the ingredients that you use, it's how you use them. Sometimes it's about layering them, right? You've got all this ingredients to make a pot of stew or a pot of chili. You don't check everything you don't chuck everything in the pot at once, right? You cook this and then you cook this and then you add this and later you add that. It's all in, and cocktails are the same way. I mean, you're not waiting hours to put something in, but it is about layering how you put that cocktail together that matters. So if you're judging my success by my bank account, in your mind, I would be a failure. But if you're judging my success by our happiness, then I am doing well. I am exactly where I want to be at this moment in time. And I've never had that. I've never been a materialistic guy. When I was about 21, or no, actually, I was 22, I had a boss tell me, and he meant it as an insult, although I didn't take it as one. He says, I'm not sure what to do with you because I can't motivate you with money. You're not motivated by money. And I never have been. I've never been the guy that has to have 100 things. And you've always got those folks that'll say stupid things like, he who dies with the most toys wins. Well, if you die with the most toys, you just die. And all that shit just sits there for somebody else to have to deal with. I've never been a materialistic guy. I've never had that, like so many people have that sports car gene. I've never had that. Like the only sports car I'd ever would want would be a 67. That's rather specific, Tom. A 67 Mustang Fastback. There's nothing new that I would ever want to have. I've never wanted a sports car. I don't understand that. Why do you want that? It doesn't make sense to me. I want to go fast, Tom. Okay. All right. I don't get it, but all right. I can't go fast, but I want to have the ability to. I just don't get it. But I've never had that materialistic gene. I've never had the need to have a million things. I'd rather have the experiences. So most of the money that I've spent over the years have been on us doing things rather than us buying things. And the very fact that we have billionaires shows shows why a libertarian society would never work. Because you have people with the ability to make our our civilization, whatever this is, a utopia, but they choose to be selfish. They choose to hoard wealth. You have a lot of people with the ability to do the right thing that choose not to. And I just don't want to be that person. I've lost out on promotions and other things over the years because I refuse to play that. I'm not going to be that cutthroat guy. I'm not going to hurt somebody, even though they've got out of their way to hurt me. I'm not going to hurt somebody to try to climb a ladder. That I'm not going to sell my soul for a few bucks. And I've never understood why some do. Because even though I've seen folks make more money, I've never seen them happy. Uh, damn, I wish I didn't tell you I was doing 3 beers. Because well, mostly because this video is running longer than I intended, but I am going to give it a shot here. All right. That and beer 3 is a rather big one. So once again, I'm going to have to take a pause for the cause. Oh, excuse me. And take a picture here. So this is the Seasons in the Abyss Double Hazy IPA using Citra and Galaxy hops. Trying to find an ABV on it. I'm not seeing it. No, it's on here. So I found it once before, but no, I'm not seeing it. Oh, there it is, 7.9%. Right there in big letters, Tom. 7.9. Double 7.9. Okay. I'll pour right in front of you again like I have the others, but then I'm going to take a picture. So bear with me. There we go. Let's get a nice picture of that. All right, now let me get a picture of me with the beer. Oh. There's one more just in case. All right, here we go. 3 beers with the Beer Whisperer. By golly, this is a new one, man. I apologize for running very, very long, but nevertheless, again, 7.9 double hazy using Citra and Galaxy. Look how beautiful that pours, though. That is just a gorgeous pour. I'm not complimenting myself. I'm complimenting how well this beer pours into the glass. Look at that nice head on there. A lot of big fruit juice. A lot of big fruit happening there. Citron Galaxy will tend to give you a lot of citrus, tropical fruit notes. But again, what I noticed the most right up front was orange. But then the tropical fruit notes came about, a pineapple, passion fruit, mango, etc. Oh yeah, there we go. That's nice. If these are flavors you're looking for, this IPA is or this beer is a home run. But it is what I like to call brunch IPAs, right? It's those brunch like flavors. I've never been one of those guys that wanted my beer to taste like fruit. So although I do think this is brilliant, this is done exquisitely well, it's not a beer that I would typically seek out a lot of because they're not flavors I'm looking for in a beer. I just remember when a good double IPA would just tear the hell out of your palate. He wouldn't be good to rest a day if you got a good one, man. But anyway, having said that, yeah, if this is a style you like, this one is surely not going to disappoint. I won't call you short. It is done exquisitely well. It really is. These flavors, the way this is put together is absolutely gorgeous. I mentioned the tropical fruit and the citrus, but I do feel like I'm getting some stone fruit in the middle. Typically, peach or apricot stands out, but in this case, I'm not getting either of those. I'm getting more of like a nectarine and plum. Oh gosh, that is good. Get a little breeze here, as you can see my hair blowing around. I'm about to cut it. I haven't had a haircut in about 6 months. I've just been letting it grow. A couple reasons behind that, but heading into the summer, I'm probably going to have to shave it because it's starting to make me a little crazy. Wife says she likes it though. So when I first met my wife, I did have longer hair. At that time, she didn't like long hair. I kept it as long as I could, but then jobs forced me to go with shorter hair, and then I got to where I liked it that way. It was real when I started growing along, and a couple times over the years, it would get to a certain length, and I can't take it anymore. 2020, yeah. So right now, I'm probably just about at the length my pandemic hair was. Days like fuck it, I don't care anymore. We're just gonna let it grow. Oh, that's nice. That's very nice. Oh yeah. So side project. Oh no, I'm sorry. Side. I said side project. My bad. Social project. Side project is St. Louis. My bad. I didn't mean to say it wrong. Social project. You got to read the can, Tom. Social. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everybody. I'm sorry. I said side project. St. Louis. Social project. A social project out of Bentonville, Arkansas. My bad. I'm sorry. Got it right eventually. Unlike other beer guys, I choose not to edit anything. I like, life is real. Life, there's mistakes. You just got to throw it all out there. Now that at 60, I feel like I'm probably at my fourth act. I used to say my third act, but I mean, I probably only got 20 years left max. So I'm probably at the fourth act right now. And for me, it's more important to do the right thing, to be a decent human being, than to acquire wealth. I know a lot of folks don't see life that way. 'Cause their sole purpose seems to be acquiring wealth, but mine is just about being a good guy, being a decent human being, having empathy and compassion. And we now have a segment of society that doesn't believe in empathy. They see it as somehow a new age term, which is ridiculous because it isn't. But I think what they're also missing is the fact that if you don't possess empathy, you have a mental illness. There is something seriously wrong with you if you don't feel empathy for anybody. And these are the people that become billionaires. They don't have empathy. They don't have compassion. They don't mind hurting people on the way up. They don't have that conscience. That's something I could never do. For me, being a decent person was more important than acquiring wealth. So I just kind of quit at some point. Um, it was more important to me just to be who I was, be, be myself, be who I was meant to be. Of course, would I like to have more money to not struggle? Sure. But not at the expense of somebody else. That's something I've never been willing to do. And bottom line, if you can't feel empathy, you should be seeing a psychiatrist right now because that's a problem. It's not something to be celebrated like certain political parties would want you to believe. It is an issue and is clearly a mental illness. You need to get that taken care of. Anyways, anyways, I digress. But both my wife and I at this, I mean, coming into Easter, our first one without our grandson Ben, and then we lost our son shortly after Easter of 2013. It is a difficult holiday for us, so we've both been rather introspective at this point, I guess. As we both contemplate our mortality. How much do we have left? And the bottom line is, I'd rather spend what little bit I have left just being a decent human being. If I die broke, that I'm okay with that. Hell, I'm dead. What do I care? I'd rather die knowing I did good. I'd rather die knowing that I was a decent human being and didn't throw anybody under the bus. Didn't have things I didn't deserve. So, anyways, that's as philosophical as I'm going to get. Let me show you this one more time. Seasons in the Abyss, Double Hazy IPA, Citroen Galaxy from Social Project. I mistakenly said Side Project earlier. Anyways, I am Tom the Beer Whisperer, beer evangelist, polluted beer drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and hold on, I got a burp stuck right there. Oh, there we go. All around good guy, Sláinte. Thanks for tuning in, folks.